Welcome, Miss Shannon. I'm Book One Review. And can you please introduce more about yourself to the
Yeah, absolutely.
audience?
So I'm Shannon Whaley. I'm an anti hustle business coach. I've been in the industry for 10 years and I've done lots of different things in the coaching industry. I'm a credentialed coach, PCC level with the International Coaching Federation. I have been a coach trainer. I'm a certified mentor coach. And a lot of the work that I do as a business coach in particular is around storytelling and helping my clients share their lives and their stories as a way to not just heal and help heal others, but also to attract their people and to use it as authentic content marketing. So I have lots of different things that I do with my clients in terms of how I can support them, but it includes somatic coaching, cognitive behavioral coaching, mindset coaching. So lots of different modalities that I use to help my clients get results.
And today, let's talk about why mindset matters
Mm.
as a coach and business owner. And thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. Thank you. So let's start with the big picture. Beyond positive thinking, what do you mean by mindset and why is it non-negotiable foundation for both effective coaching and thriving business?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's so much more than just journaling positive thoughts and hoping for the best. When I first started coaching, I was focused strictly on strategy. So I was helping my clients with funnels and email marketing. And what I quickly realized was the thing that was getting in the way of them being successful and getting hired and putting themselves out onto the internet was their belief in themselves, the fears about being visible, the self-esteem, confidence, body image stuff. So there was so much more that had to be addressed than just the strategy. And this is where the mindset piece came in because to be honest, the strategy piece is actually the easy piece because you just follow a process, you have a launch plan, you have a calendar, right? The hard part is really getting underneath the beliefs that you're not good enough or that you're too loud or that people aren't going to like the way that you present yourself. And so there's more in terms of mindset as far as having your brain connect with your body. So this is where the somatic tools and practices come in. This is where the embodiment practices come in because you can journal and write all these positive things, but if your body is not also on board, if your body is still stick to your stomach and hot and contracting, it doesn't matter if you're writing 100 times. People love me. My audience can't wait to hear from me. I'm a six-figure coach. If your body is not agreeing with your brain, then there is a disconnect. And again, the strategy is not going to work. So this is why it's so important to make sure that you're addressing how you're feeling, somatic wise, and also addressing the mindset and the beliefs. And so, this is where the cognitive behavioral coaching comes in as well, of really making sure that there's that mind body connection.
Many coaches are experts in their craft but struggle to build a business. How does a practitioner mindset differ from an entrepreneurial mindset and what shape
Hmm.
required to succeed at both?
Can you ask that question again?
Yes, definitely. Many coaches are experts in their craft but
Mhm.
struggle to build a business. How does a
Mm.
practitioner mindset differ from an entrepreneurial mindset?
Yeah. So this is very common that people come to me because they're good at their craft. Maybe because I also work with consultants and service providers. So they're good at the thing that they do. They're excellent coaches, they're excellent web designers, they're excellent, but that is one of the skill sets that you need to be successful as an online business owner who's using social media in particular to build your business. All of these other pieces, content marketing, sales, strategy, sales strategy, content strategy, all of these are separate skill sets. And then on top of it, being a business owner is a whole other skill set, knowing how to project income, knowing how to manage team. We're taught how to be employees. We're not taught how to be entrepreneurs. So this is something that is very much overlooked in my opinion. It we just think, "Oh, I'm just going to open my business and people are going to come and I'm really good at what I do." And then they start getting tripped up on the website stuff, the content stuff, and all of these things. And so you can be thirsty like entrepreneurs are, right? Like we're passionate, we value our time and our freedom and we're ready to go, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you have the skill sets that are going to get you to where you want to be. And so having coaches, having mentors, being in spaces, listening to podcasts, and making sure that you're consuming the right information for where you are in your business and not getting too far ahead of where you currently are is really, really important. Learning the skills that you need now and the platforms, because one thing that I see is that people are putting the cart before the horse and they're learning things or hiring out for things that they don't need yet in their business. And so, really, that's why it's important to have a coach to help you shorten your learning curve, but also to make sure that you're not over investing, bleeding money in your business. And so, the the mindset of a coach and of a practitioner needs to come together with the entrepreneur mindset. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs too, as they get going, they recognize and realize like, okay, I need to stay positive. I need to make sure that I'm talking to myself better. I need to make sure that I'm surrounded by other people who are doing really cool things, and that I have people to look up to and to guide me, so that I can get to where I want to be.
Interesting, Miss Shannon. And we often hear the phrase, your business grows only to the level of your personal development.
Mm,
From your experience, why is this so profoundly true?
yeah, good question. I mean, and this is what we say too, like you can only take your clients as far as you're willing to go. And that that shows up in mindset wise, right? Like if I haven't done my own work to think that literally anything is possible, and I cut myself off at a certain level, and then a client comes to me and they want to hit levels, if I'm like, yeah, right, good luck, I'm going to sabotage them. If I can't hold a bigger vision for myself, I'm not going to be able to hold that bigger vision for my clients. And if we're not doing our own personal work on a consistent basis, like this is never ending. It will, you'll be done when you close your doors, perhaps. But you always need to be looking at your beliefs around money, your beliefs around visibility, how you're showing up, like building your capacity. And if you haven't worked on building your own trust in yourself, building your capacity of what you can hold and bigger visions, you're not going to be able to hold those bigger visions for your clients.
On the mindset in coaching and client results, how does a coach's own mindset directly limit or expand the results they can help their clients achieve?
Hmm. Yeah, I think it's just more of that same conversation that, um, if you're putting limitations on yourself of what you think is possible, then it's going to be really difficult to not also hold those limitations for your clients. So one thing that when when people are asking for advice, like I see people, in Facebook groups or online asking for advice. And yes, I say like take it with a grain of salt, because anytime you're asking for advice, let's say around pricing or around the vision of $1 million business, you're going to get advice from people based on what they think is possible for them, based on their money blocks, their money issues, based on their generational, like what's been passed down generational wise of what they think is possible for them. So you're going to get so many different opinions. And they're may or may not be helpful. And oftentimes, if you're outsourcing your dreams to like what other people think is possible, you're going to be disappointed, because again, they're basing their advice on what they think is possible for them. So it's really important this is again like why it's important to be around other people who are doing really big things that you are impressed by, that you um you want to be around other people who are doing what you want to be doing.
Miss Shannon, can you share a story where you work on your own mindset around a specific issue and it immediately transformed the outcomes you were able to get with your
Mhm.
clients?
Mhm. I remember back when it was before I was making six figures, and I had gotten close and close in the years prior, but I couldn't crack the code. Like I couldn't crack $100,000 in a 12-month time
Mm-hmm.
period. Well, in a year, right? And so there were some things that, like, so from January to December was like this is our calendar year. So the things that I started to really work on was, again, my capacity. So what do I have the capacity for? Like, what can I hold? And really building in the trust that I could hold a bigger business. So I was journaling every day on I'm a six-figure coach. I was saying it out loud. I was doing somatic work like dancing and shaking. As I was saying my new beliefs out loud, I was doing a lot of work on my money mindset and cleaning up my personal finances. So paying off student loans, getting my finances in order, just to like show myself that I was responsible with money, because I had a lot of beliefs that I was not responsible. I had a lot of proof too. I had a lot of credit card debt that I wasn't responsible with money. So there were some beliefs that I needed to change, but then also some actions that I needed to change to prove to myself that those beliefs aren't true anymore. Maybe they were true at one time, but they're no longer true. And I had to also work on trusting that I was responsible, that I knew how to manage six figures. I knew exactly where it was going to go. I had the bank accounts set up. I was doing profit first. So that book by Mike Michalowicz is an excellent book. I highly recommend it. And so I started to act as if before it already happened. And this was where things really started to transform. And some of the things that I kind of did to trick myself was that I started moving the calendar around. So, like, I hadn't made six figures in 12 months, but I had made it in 16 months. So that got my brain on board of, oh, this is actually way closer than I thought it was, because I've made that much money, but it's just not in the allotted time. So this is where you just want to give yourself some room to see the results and to let the universe work its magic, right? And so I was like, well, if I can make it in 16 months, I can definitely make it in 12 months. And then I was working on, like, I had a mastermind and I had different group programs. So I could see, okay, I need this much money coming in and this many clients. So I started getting more technical and strategic about it. And then pretty soon the gap started closing where it was I had made six figures in 14 months. And I was like, we are right. I mean, this is right here. And then sure enough, it happened where I hit six figures in January to December. And it was just, it was working on my belief. And then seeing that much money, those numbers on the screen, because your brain tells you, your brain wants to keep you safe. Your brain wants to keep you at baseline. And so that is a big jump, especially if you've been struggling to hit those numbers for a while. And so you just have to really build that in and feel safe with that money. And so I was able to use those skills and those tools and those little tricks and pass that on to my clients to encourage them. Like, what do you see available for you? Maybe it's with money, maybe it's with clients, maybe it's with something else. But where can you kind of play with numbers? Where can you expand things so that you can start to see that what you want, you've already done in some capacity? And then how do we just shorten that curve, right? How do we shorten that for you? So I feel like that's just one of the biggest breakthroughs that I had around the money piece and around the mindset piece was how, how have I already been doing this? It might look a little bit different, but and that made me really hungry. So that entrepreneurial mindset really kicked in with the you know the coaching piece that I have, that everything started to feel on board, and that's how I knew, like, okay, this is working. We're on our way. And then, doubled the next year and things just were out of this world.
Out of this world for sure. So, Miss Shannon, what are your short-term and long-term goals as a coach?
What are my I'm sorry?
What are your short-term and long-term goals?
Short-term, long-term goals. Well, things have changed in my business a bit. So, I've been doing more contract work, and I just brought on a new contract client that I'm excited about. So, things have shifted in terms of the way that I work. So my short-term goals are to move into this new contract with this client and um, go through the training that they provide, and move into the next level of coaching. And I've been working more to around the mentor coaching piece with the International Coaching Federation. So, looking into doing workshops and classes for continuing education units, and getting more visible on LinkedIn. So, in more of a bit of like a corporate kind of coaching. And then my long term goals, I have my eyes set on becoming, getting my MCC credential with the Coaching Federation. So that is on deck. And then long term, I have an idea for a coach training school and program. So that's also in the future. Not sure when that's going to happen, but
In
we'll
the
have to.
future. So, Miss Shannon, good luck to your goals and looking forward for more success. What would be your piece of advice for those people out there want to be like you?
Hmm. I would say, I mean, the big thing in the moment that I'm realizing is that I'm very grateful that 2015 Shannon decided to go through coach training and get the credentials, because the coaching industry, you don't have to be credentialed. You don't have to go through the ICF. You can just start coaching. And so it was really important for me to get those credentials. And I would not have the clients that I have today without that credential. And so it's opened up a lot of doors for me in terms of working in corporate and uh, building my skills as a coach. And so I would say that would be my biggest advice would be to at least go through a training program to get the coaching skills and to help you build your confidence around the coaching skill set.
Good luck and thank you for that advice. Miss Shannon, and can you please recommend a book or books that influence your journey?
Absolutely. So The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks had I haven't read that in years, but it's one of the books that really made me see things in a different light. And really, he talks about the upper limit problems and the mindset that you have to have dialed in order to get to where you want to be, and what we do to sabotage our success to keep us safe and which keeps us from moving forward, obviously. So that book was very influential in how I started talking to myself, um, putting a barrier between the voices and the negative voices and thoughts that come in that it's not me telling me that I suck and that I can't do certain things. It's uh, my brain is telling me, or my negative beliefs are telling me, or, he says give them a name. So you can name them whatever, right? But my inner voice is telling me that I can't do this. And I know that that's not me. That's just my brain trying to keep me safe. So that was something that really, really changed how I looked at my mindset and my thoughts.
Yes, and thank you for the recommended book, Miss Shannon. And beyond affirmation, what is the powerful cognitive technique or reframe you teach to instantly disrupt a limiting belief?
Mm. Well, as you're thinking about, just one belief that you might have, I'm trying to think of something like around money. Um, that seems to be a theme that I've brought up today. And so looking at where the thought came from, like dissecting where the belief came from. Is that true? What do you want to believe instead? And maybe there's different beliefs that you have to say to kind of like crack that belief to cancel it out. And you want to make sure that when you're rewriting your beliefs, that they feel possible. That when you are, let's just use the six figure. So, like, I'm a six-figure coach. Well, there was a point where that was so far from, like, I wasn't even making, $300 a month yet. So it was so far from the reality that my brain could not hook onto that concept. So sometimes you have to scale things back so that your brain and your body can hook on to the belief, and then it starts to pull you towards that bigger goal. So I had to scale that back to, I'm a coach building her business and I make $500 a month because I was at $300 a month. $500 a month felt possible. And then once I was making $500, I was like, okay, cool. So like $1,000. So I had to inch my way and tiptoe my way to, because, six figures is $8,300 a month. So that's a far cry from $500. So if you have big goals and big dreams, and the new beliefs that you are writing out you don't feel connected to them yet, start to scale it back a bit until it's like, this feels stretchy and exciting and a little bit impossible, but I really feel like I could pull this off. Those are the ones that you want to hook onto. And then as they start to happen, you slowly start to get up to those bigger beliefs where eventually it's like, of course I'm going to be a six-figure coach. Like, it's just done. It's in the cards. I'm a 6-figure coach because I said I am. And then you get that confidence that moves you forward.
Yes, materialize it, people.
Mhm.
And before we wrap up our discussion for today, Miss Shannon, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season, abstract poetry in second season, and my book 101 review in fifth season too, comedy 101 in third season, and my food 101 in fifth season as well, geography 101, love letters, movie 101 review, music 101 are in fourth season, science 101 and sex 101 in the second season of my baby podcast, law 101, mental health 101, and bible verses 101. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So, Miss Shannon, if you could leave our audience of coaches and business owners with one core belief to adopt
Mm.
today, what would it be?
The universe has my back and fully supports my dreams.
Yes, definitely. And thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world, Miss Shannon.
Thank you.
Thank you. And can you please invite our listeners to support your business, your advocacy, or whatever projects that you're doing right now?
Absolutely. So you can find me at antihustlebiz.com. You can find me over on Instagram at the Shannon Whaley and all of the information there. I have a retreat coming here in Italy in April. So reach out and all the info is on antihustlebiz.com.
Yes, people, let's support Miss Shannon Whaley because if you support her, for sure, more and more empowering coaching will rise. So, Miss Shannon, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Maricon people, see you soon.